Hey guys, this is Helix DLC, our new weekly release show. Tune in every Saturday and we will tell you all the new releases from PSVR all the way up to the Rift, tell you whether we think they're worth investing in, pass on them, and hopefully it makes your job a lot easier when it comes to spending your hard-earned cash. So this is the place to tune in every Saturday, and we'll tell you what to get. So let's start off with the first batch of games that are out this week. Our first game is Power Solitaire. It's Klondike Solitaire, so it's traditional solitaire. It's available for the Rift and the Vive. It's a very, very good game actually, because obviously everyone plays solitaire, got it on phones. But with this version here, you can actually play against an AI, or if your friends have got it, you can play multiplayer up to 4 players, which makes it a bit more interesting. Don't know if you've ever played that before, but it's something slightly different. It's a good game. It does what it says on the tin, and we had a good time playing it actually here at Helix. So if you're looking for a card game, this is the one to invest in this week. Next up is Airtone. Airtone, Japanese-inspired musical rhyming game. It's available for the Vive. We played it. We found it incredibly cartoonish and childish. So if you've got a younger person Vive that would like to play it, then this is the game to go for. But we personally prefer Audio Shield or Soundboxing or something like that type game. So for us, we would pass on it. If you've got younger children, maybe that's more for them, or if you're into the manga type anime cartoon strip type thing, again, maybe you're investing in it, but for us, we would pass on it. Okay, third game this week is Special Delivery. Now, you're all going to say, but Special Delivery's been out for a while. It has, but it's just been released this week on PSVR. So, classic 1980s paperboy game comes into VR. Ride a bike, deliver the newspapers, avoid old grannies, dogs and trucks, and that's what it is. Very, very nostalgic for us here in Helix when we were playing it. It did remind us of when we were all kids playing on our home computers. So if you've got a PSVR and you want to invest in some old retro type game with a modern twist on it, this is the one to get this week on PSVR. It is available obviously on other VR units as well. Another game that's been released for quite a while on PC and VR is Valkyrie. Now, this has just been released on PSVR this week, so again, another old game which is making its way over to the PSVR. So if you've got a PlayStation, you're really, really lucky this week because you've got 2 good games coming out. This game is definitely worth investing. It's just a brilliant game. So don't really need to say much about this because I think everyone's seen it or played it. But if you've got a PlayStation and you want to get in on the action, definitely invest into this. Okay, and the last one of this batch is Theme Park Rides VR. Now, this is available for the Rift and for the Vive. We absolutely loved it here in Helix. We all had a game of it. It did make us feel incredibly sick on the teacup ride. But if you want to experience what a theme park is like in virtual reality, and it isn't just a roller coaster, you've got bumper cars and you've got the Ferris wheel and things like that, this is definitely a well worth investment over the Minecraft type games. So we would definitely say this is the one to buy. Let's have a look at some of the action from the game. There you go, guys. Doesn't that look a good game to be playing? Okay, so next up, we've got our next batch of games, and we're going to start off with Virtue Studio. Okay, this is a 3D modeling simulation project in VR. We haven't actually played it, so I don't recommend it or not recommend it. But if you're into doing 3D modeling in a VR environment, then maybe it's worth having a look at and invest. There we go. Okay, so next up is VR Toy Field. Now, if you're a Yankee Doodle Dandy, then this is your American pastime game come to VR. It is a baseball game. You've got a mad, crazy AI throwing a ball at you. You've got to give it away to play baseball, basically. For me, being a Londoner, baseball bats are used for other things, but it's a good game if you're into that. It's very bit childish. But we had fun playing it. That's available for the Vive and the Oculus. Okay, I can tell you that when this game came out this week, there was a few people at Helix that got very excited. It's been available already on the Oculus and the Gear, and when it's finally made its way over to the Vive, somebody got extremely excited to the point where we lost him for a good half the day while he was playing it. Darknet, you have to stop a computer virus. You're in the nodes, and it's by different add-ons and things like that. It is a really, really good game. It's very, very addictive. So if you do want to waste half your life playing in VR, it's the game to invest in. So it's available already on the Oculus Gear. This week we got it released on as well, which is nice to see the developers actually bringing it over to. So definitely worth investing in. I know my team from Helix, they will be disappearing into the shows. Next up, we've got Bubble Labs. Now, this game is really, really childish. It is cartoony graphics, but they are done so well. Create bubbles and shoot bubbles, things like that. It's just fun. If you've got children, this is aimed at children. So if you want something to keep them out of rec room so that us adults can actually play without screaming kids around our ankles, then I would definitely invest in getting this game. It's available this week for Vive. If you're an adult, it's a pass. But it's a good demo if you want to demo it to show people what VR is all about, if you like bright colours. So, there we go. And then finally, now again, you're all going to say, this has been out for a long time. It has, but it's actually made its way out of early access this week. So, we've got Battle Domes, which is available for Vive and for the Rift. It's out of early access, and this week, which is a really, really good offer, is they're actually giving it free for the weekend. So if you want to try it without having to buy it, download it this weekend, have a go. It's a bit like playing Quasar or Laser Quest. Play on your own, or you can play in a team. It's really, really good, fun game to be playing. So it's out of early access, which is really nice to see developers actually coming out of that. Free this weekend, and then you've got a big % off of it this week. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, let's have a look at the game being played.
Oh gosh.
I need some ink inside real quick.
Can't reach the base. Watch it. Oh, I got blown up. Dude, this is crazy, bro.
Our next batch of games coming up are starting with The Existence Abstract. Now, this is available for the Vive this week. It's a shooting game. We've had a little play of it. We feel that there are better shooting games out there. We're not saying it's a bad game. It's not the worst shooting game out there. But for us, it's a pass. Really much else that I'm going to say about this. Hopefully watch it, see how it develops. It may actually grow into a decent game. But for us, certainly if you're going to invest your money in a shooting game, things that are coming. Okay, this game, Disco Time 80s. For us, it's definitely a pass. We wouldn't invest money in it because you can go into the VR chat or you can go into the Wave if you want to dance around and have a good time. And they're free, so it's definitely something that you don't want to be investing your money in when there is free stuff out there and a lot more social. So for us, this was definitely a pass. Here at Helix. Okay, Varish. This is available for the Vive this week. It's a sort of a cross between Snake and some other games out there. It's a little bit addictive. It was a sort of a split here at Helix between who enjoyed it and who didn't. We're not quite sure how much playability is in it after you've played a few rounds, but they do say that there is 10 different playing modes, games within the game. So you should get your money's worth out of it, but whether it's going to be one of these ones that you're playing in 2 or 3 months' time, we can't say. But certainly if you want something slightly different, this is the different game of the week that you want to be investing in. Now, this game, we haven't actually had a chance to play it. It came too late for us to get our hands on it to give it a proper test. So, but I will say, from what the guys are saying on the Steam site, this has got a new unique movement system on it. It does look really, really good, actually. We got quite excited about it, and I'm a little bit disappointed that I haven't had a chance to play it for you guys to be able to tell you what it's all about. 69 Ways to Kill a Zombie available for Vive and the Oculus this week. It's on my wish list, so if someone wants to send it to me so I can play it and let everyone know, that would be nice, or I'll wait until the Steam sale in a couple and everything that's on my wish list. But certainly let us know what you think of the game. For us, it does look interesting. Okay, and our final game of this section is the Toy Plane Heroes. Now, this is available for the Rift, Vive, and for OSVR. You are basically playing a toy plane, and you're in a dogfight with other toy planes. Really, really fun game. Only downside for me is that you actually have to use a control pad for it. You can't use your Touch controllers or your Vive controllers. You need an Xbox controller or a Steam controller to be able to play this game. So that let it down for me a little bit, but the game itself was actually really, really fun. It's one of these games that work really, really well in cartoon format. To me, it was like playing Toy Story in VR. So definitely worth investing in. If you want to have a look what the game's like, I'll show you now. Really, really fun game. Again, we'll get a lot of action out of that. Just developers, if you're watching, please add the touch control pads for it, because it's a lot better than using the normal. Okay, so for our final batch of games for this part of the show, we're going to start off with upside down. There we go. Ops VR Trainium, which is a virtual reality freebie game. It's available for Rift and Vive. You basically playing around with loads of space toys. You can go in there, see some satellites, play around with it. If you're really into space and space exploration, this is a good experience. It's not really a game, it's an experience to be playing around with. There are obviously other VR space games out there which do cost money. So if you're after something which is free, this is our freebie game of the week that we would certainly tell you to download. Okay, next up is Calum. Calum's available for Vive this week. It's got a discount on it for early release, so if you're to get the game, we haven't actually played it, so I can't give you anything. It does look interesting. It's sort of a puzzle mist type feel about it. So if you're into puzzles and riddles and things like that, this is the game to be purchasing. As I say, we haven't had a chance to play it, so I can't tell you any more than we've seen when we've actually looked at the videos. So, but certainly, if you're into those types of games, it's a good one to get. Okay, Sushi VR. It's a job simulator type game. It's available for the Vive. It's very expensive for what it is. Basically, you're making sushi, and there are obviously job simulator is out there. It's a job simulator, it costs more, but it actually has a lot more going for it. So for us, this is not worth the money that they're putting it out for. Wait for the sale if you really want to know how to make sushi, but it is a very, very pricey game in our opinion. Now, believe it or not, I actually really enjoyed this. Again, it's not a game, it's an experience. The lathe safety simulator. If you've ever wanted to know what it was like to get a piece of wood and put it on a lathe and chisel away with it, this is the experience to go for. It's free, so that's always a plus. It's available for the Rift and the Vive. And one thing that I would say is watch the safety video, because if you don't, you're going to lose your hands very, very quickly. So really, really good experience. Saves actually getting splinters in your hand in real life. Just play with it in VR. So download this if you want to know what it's like to do. Okay, this game is the one that's probably been purchased by most of the Helix team. When it came out, we actually really, really got excited about this. This is our game of the week. So there's one game that we will select every week that we think is worthy of Helix game of the week, and that one that you should definitely be purchasing. This is that game. It's Dead. It's from the school for Dead Effect. So this is Dead Effect 2 VR. There's lots of gore. There's lots of weapons. It's a FPS game, but it's got a sort of an RGB feel about it. So you develop as you play the game. There's different weapons to be picking up. We really enjoyed it. So for the FPS game this week, if you want a good shooting game, this is the one to get. The graphics are fantastic in it. The blood, the gore, we just absolutely loved it. And after one of us played it and actually raved about it, I think 3 of us went out and purchased the game as well. So that gives us the seal of approval from Helix. So if you don't believe me, have a look at the video now that's coming up and see what you think of it for yourselves. Dead Effect 2 VR. Forgot to mention it's available on the Rift and on the Vive, so go out and buy that this weekend and have a great time. So that's the end of the show for this week. Just a few things to wrap up before I go. If you want to see us doing some recording, you can always pop into Seven's room in Basement VR. We're normally in there on Sundays around about 8 o'clock GMT time. You could just see what we're actually up to, say hi to us. You could see us mooching around the rec room. You'll see who we are because we've got our Helix t-shirts. Thank you very much, guys, at Rec Room, for designing our t-shirts for us. So look for the Helix H. See anyone wearing that? They're part of the Helix crew. You can always come up and ask us loads of questions about the show that's coming up. We will be releasing the Helix show in hopefully very, very soon, in maybe a month's time. But we will let you know more details about that. But follow us on Facebook, Helixxvr. Tune into our YouTube channel and subscribe to that. You can follow us on Twitter as well, where we tweet out what's going on. This week's competition, and we have a Thursday giveaway every week, which we will always pick a winner on the Sunday. So Thursday's giveaway this week is Star Trek Bridge Crew. All you need to do is go to our Helix Facebook page, like our Helix Facebook page, and share the post, and you will be entered into the competition, which we will draw on Sunday, and we will video on Monday to tell you who's won. It's as simple as that. So thanks for tuning into the show this week. Next week we will be back with all the new releases. If you're a developer and you've got a new release coming out next week, get in contact with us and let us have a play of it, because we do like to test as many games as possible, so you guys can get the benefit of it. If you like anything about the show, let us know. If you don't like anything about the show, also let us know so that we can improve on it. Okay, thank you very much, and we will see you next week, or see you around VR. Have a good one.